Hey guys, welcome back to the Alpina B7. I spent a few days in this car and I wanted to sum up my week in it. This thing has been awesome. It is incredibly fast and incredibly comfortable. And it combines these two sides, this sport side and this luxury side. But I appreciate how it puts luxury and comfort first, while at the same time just being bonkers to drive and insanely quick. I wanted to give you a walk around the interior, the exterior on this during the day. The last video we did was a night drive. Before I hand back the keys to BMW. As I mentioned in the previous video, Alpina's just done some nice refinements to make this as capable as it is. It has different wheels, a lower front splitter. It's running on Michelin Pilot Super Sports. 600 horsepower bi-turbo V8, 590 pound-feet of torque, and this gorgeous Alpina green. Alpina has tweaked the air suspension in this B7 to be just a little bit more performance-oriented. There's some engine tuning, all-wheel drive system tuning. Put the power to the ground through an 8-speed CF automatic. Base price on this is around 142 grand, but as spec'd with a few other options, it's around 156. You can control your infotainment here, rear climate, lighting, sun protection, all through this little iPad-like device. No rear seat infotainment though. You do get climate control and a very comfortable seating position. I love the design of this cabin. It's airy, it's light. This wood grain is just gorgeous in person. And there's so many little cool details throughout this car that just make it special. And that's really how I could sum up this B7, is that it feels special. Let's take it for one last drive. We'll see how it does on some of these back roads. Probably the biggest surprise for me here is just the composure that this car has, especially at high speeds. The ride comfort, it just swallows up everything. And you have no sensation of how fast you're going, aside from the massive shove in your back from the acceleration and just a subtle V8 rumble. This is definitely one of those cars that's a little bit too fast for American roads. This would be much more at home on the Autobahn. Let's throw it into sport mode. As is tradition with Alpina, you get the shifter buttons on the back instead of paddles. brakes on this car are pretty nuts too. Incredible stopping power. There is launch control. Let's try it. Heavy down with the left foot on the brake. Oh my God. Wow. 0 to 60 in 3.5, if not less. Pretty awesome. Just insane performance. The CF 8-speed does a really good job managing all that power. It's never rough, it's never unpredictable. It's about as perfectly tuned of a transmission as they come. There is something about this car that is very in keeping with BMW's philosophy of the ultimate driving machine. I can't say that about most of BMW's lineup in the last 10 years, but this 7 Series, this B7, it honors that mark, that history, and that philosophy. We have a pretty exceptionally windy day today in Michigan, but normally there's very little noise, vibration, harshness from this. The only thing that I've noticed driving it this week is over some larger bumps and rougher roads, you do get some creaking in the back seats and just overall throughout the car. But most of the time, this is just a very serene place to be in. This air suspension will raise and lower depending on your drive mode. Sport mode will hunker it down a little bit. Comfort will give you a little bit more ground clearance and suspension travel. And considering that the performance that this B7 has, it gets pretty impressive fuel economy numbers too. Of course, you get BMW's cruise control, their assisted driving. This is an okay system. I've noticed that it prompts me pretty immediately to put my hands on the wheel sometimes. And often when I do have my hands on the wheel, it'll still prompt me to take action, and it won't quite sense that my hand and my pressure is on the steering wheel. So honestly, I've mostly been leaving it on distance control as opposed to assisted driving mode. Assisted driving is okay if you need to take your eyes off the road for a few seconds, change a setting or something like that, but ultimately the Genesis G90 that we had this week has a much better autonomous assisted driving system. Otherwise, everything else is laid out pretty well in this cabin. You have easy access to all of your settings, your drive modes. The Idrive system works great. It's easy to use. There's still a focus on driving here in this B7. Let's do a little brake test up here. traction limit. It's pretty chilly today, so we're not getting as much grip as we would normally. Let's do one more launch control, just for fun. That is just wild. Just wild. Haven't driven many cars this fast, to be honest. You get just a little hint of a burble from the exhaust. There's a pretty big difference between all the drive modes. Sport Plus is very aggressive. It's a really good thing BMW includes this speed limiter, because honestly, if you had one of these, you should use it. Otherwise, I mean, this is your 7 Series. Supremely comfortable to drive. These seats are fantastic. They actually keep you bolstered quite well under hard cornering. This thing can pull close to a G around corners. It's pretty amazing. And with the difference that you get between the various drive modes, really pretty impressive versatility from this B7. If I'm honest, if Alpina is going to offer one car in the US, this is probably the best option. I did drive an M760i a few years ago. A little bit of a different beast, a little bit more luxury oriented. But I think this B7 is still as comfortable. It just feels a little more nimble, more capable. It's so fast. The V12 has a little bit more of a lazy character to it. And with the tuning here from Alpina, this is a much more driving oriented and exciting machine, in my opinion at least. Power comes on just instantly. There's virtually no turbo lag here. The four-wheel steer on this car is great. It's tuned super well so that at low speeds it really shrinks the wheelbase, or the feeling of the long wheelbase in the 7 Series. And then on higher speed corners, on straight line driving, it really increases your stability, especially at the limit. I'd imagine this thing would be stable all the way up to its 205 mile an hour top speed. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap up the B7. We have we've really enjoyed driving this thing this week. It's been fantastic. It offers just such an amazing overall package, and truly brings the phrase ultimate driving machine into the modern day application. So anyway, let me know if you guys have any more questions on this B7. It's a beast. It is just brutally quick, and also at the same time very relaxing, which is just such a weird but awesome combination. I love it. Alright guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.